Welcome back, everybody, to Embrace the Squiggle. And Ashleigh, I feel like we have 9 million things to catch up on and a quick half hour to do so. So let us jump right in. We were texting, I don't even remember, yesterday, day before, and
Yeah.
started saying neither of us are being good about the great leaders eat lunch kind of mantra and all of the advice we give people because we are both in states of lots and lots and lots of work. And it's no
Yes.
excuse. We should be modeling these things. But
Right.
let's just jump in and give some quick updates on some things and let's talk about why this happens. Like why do we find that we are going through these, tornadoes and not
Yeah.
doing practicing what we preach some days?
Exactly. I find in moments or seasons, really, of what it is, right? Seasons of extreme change or a significant increase in demand, we start to abandon all of our values and the foundation we stand on. And I am so severely guilty of that right now. I am 4 weeks into my new role as president of IT practice in Raleigh, North Carolina. While I haven't officially moved down here, I am commuting from Connecticut to Raleigh weekly
Okay,
while
so let's
trying
okay,
to,
but let's just pause right there. Commuting, yeah, you made it sound like, I'm just commuting and you're commuting via airplane. Like
yes,
this is not a I can drive this distance. You are literally hopping on a plane to go to work.
yes, literally. And battling cancellations and unexpected weather. And the minute I land from Connecticut in Raleigh, it's, hit the ground running, go see clients, fix problems, because as an IT, that's all we do is fix problems. So it's, while I've really, really enjoyed it and I am having the best time and everything in me says this was exactly the right move. It doesn't take away from the stress of kind of needing to be an octopus. I have to be in multiple places at once and doing multiple things at once. And you start to worry about letting people down. And I don't want to do that. And I don't want to let people down because of things that are going on in my life. So it's like you start to take on more responsibility, a higher level of guilt, right? Oh, I'm not doing the best that I can in this area or the best that I can in this area. So you're trying to dig deep and find more time and energy. And, but also, oh, I need to stay healthy. I can't burn out. I can't get sick right now. I don't have time for that, which is usually when we end up getting sick.
Of course, right? Stress definitely equals sick.
Yeah. So I uh, found that last week I did not eat lunch a single day. And it wasn't even one of those moments of I ate at my desk. I did not actually nourish my body any day last week until dinner. And I thought, okay, this is so anti Ashleigh. I'm usually a 3 meals a day kind of gal. um, and could feel myself getting so tired at the end of the day.
Well, of
And that's,
course, right? Because our bodies and
yeah,
our brains need fuel and rest in order to be at our best.
yes. And the minute I really realized it, I thought, oh my gosh, I have to tell Colleen. I've completely abandoned everything that we stand for in the last 4 weeks. And I thought, who am I? What am I doing? And how am I going to end up being what everybody really does need me to be if I can't take care of myself?
Ooh, and you're not alone in this, right? This is such a
Right.
common issue because I think, like you said, you're someone who preaches this stuff. You talk about it all the time. You model it all the time, and yet still, it's so easy in a new experience when change happens, when something new comes along, that it's easy to fall quickly into that. Oh my God, I have to be everything to everyone. I have no time. I'm pushing, pushing, pushing. Uh,
Yeah.
so It's interesting because next week when this podcast drops 2 days later, I'm going to be speaking at the Disrupt HR Portland, Maine edition.
Yes.
And I'm so excited. And I am talking about great leaders eat lunch. It's 5 minutes. And I have been struggling all week with how to boil down what in a keynote takes me 45 minutes to do. In a training will take me days to really talk with people through, to kind
Yeah.
of boil this down to a few nuggets that help people start to realize how important, right, fuel and recovery is for us in
Right.
order to make really good decisions, in order for us to be less reactive, for us to be more creative. Um, I when I think about these things, I often think about my daughter, um, when we used to go to Disney when the kids were little. And one of our kids is someone who, like, the sugar crush, the crash is really tough. Right?
Oh, yeah.
If she hits the hasn't had enough food, um, she's just a bear. Turns into, right? And this was even as a toddler and everything, right? She was the kid who would melt down and you realized it's just because she needed food. And we learned really quickly that even just a little tiny dum dum lollipop was enough
Okay.
to get her to come back. And I
Yeah.
remember thinking, wow, like it's amazing how just that little bit makes her so much less reactive to the world.
Right.
And how often as leaders, we jump into this place where we're sacrificing our own kind of mental status or food intake or recovery. And I think, gosh, we can't be making really good decisions then, right?
Yes, that nails it. That nails it. It's in it's so much more than just, oh, I have brain fog because I'm tired or because I haven't eaten, and that does happen to me as well. The word hangry certainly describes me if I'm not being fed.
Oh, yeah. The
Um,
Snickers commercial is like
yes.
150% my kid, right? I remember that first
Yes.
one coming out, the like you're not yourself when you don't have a Snickers or something like that, where yeah, 100%. If you don't
Yeah.
know that commercial, go look it up. It's hilarious.
Yes, exactly. I mean, to the point where my family's like, if you're going anywhere with Ashley, pack snacks.
Yes, yes.
Um,
I told my daughter's
so
boyfriend that after they'd been dating like a year, they were going away together. And I was like, Skylar, let me give you a little clue. You want Happy Meg? The best thing to do is just throw some fruit snacks in your pocket. Like throw a couple of Dum Dum lollipops. Because if you hit a point where, right, the blood sugar's dying, boy, that little bit's going to make a difference. You're all going to be happier. Everybody's going to be happier.
yes, yes. So why is it that we do that? And also, when really reflecting on not just the question why, I started to think, okay, what are some easy tips or reminders, mantras we should use for ourselves when we get into this season to even take 10 minutes or 15 minutes? I think to some of the workout apps that are designed for women, right? Women specifically, because we tend to be the ones who have so many things going on with balancing family and work and dynamics. And a lot of them break down exercise into quickies, which are 10 or 15 minutes, and then your 30 minutes. And then if you have an hour and you're going to, go for the gold, you can do those too. And I think that we tend to say, oh, well, I can't sit down for 30 minutes or an hour to have lunch, so I'm not going to have it. And it's okay, maybe we start packing snacks, right? Having
Mhm.
snacks in our desk, taking 10 minutes where we're not having a conversation with someone, we're not reading an email. We have a snack. Maybe we doom scroll Instagram for 10 minutes, do something mindless, drink a glass of water, and that counts, right? And maybe it's taking the pressure off of what defines lunch and using Leaders Eat Lunch as a reminder of we just nourish our bodies and take some of that pressure off.
Absolutely. It's funny as I've been putting together my disrupt kind of 5-minute talk. I've changed it, like I said, 20 times, which is like why my week feels out of control this week. Because I wake up in the middle of the night and think, oh, wait, no, this is the thing. And as you're saying, right, I've been trying to break it down into, you have 3 minutes, you have 5 minutes, you got 15 minutes. Like, here are some things you can do that are actually going to make your brain work better for the rest of the day. And one of my favorite ones has always been, and I will fully give this to a coach who I'm blanking on her name right now, but it was when Megan was born and I was going back to work, and I met a woman who coached working moms. And so I
Mm.
had a couple of sessions with her, and one of the first things she said was, every time you have 3 minutes left, if you're at home, go to the bathroom, and back then it was iPod, bring your iPod and play a song. Don't leave the bathroom till that song is over. Just one song. Listen to a favorite song. Pick a song that, you remember from high school or a concert you went to, something. And I'm always telling people this at their desk. Just turn around in your desk. Stop looking at your monitor. Put your headphones on, close your eyes, and just listen to a song for 3 minutes.
That's a that's such a great idea. I need to do that
And
multiple
then,
times a day.
right? And that's what I mean. Like 3 minutes, you're like, oh, I can do 3 minutes. Because
Yes.
often, if we're coaching leaders, they're like you, right? They have 950 responsibilities. They have 150 people coming at them all the time saying, I need this, I need this, I need this. And sometimes it's hard to figure out, when can you actually take 5 minutes for yourself and not feel guilty, not feel
Yes.
like you're letting somebody else down, and all of those pieces. So I love the 3 minute one. I used to tell folks, if you have 5 to 10 minutes, go out one door of your building, or if you work from home, go out the front door of your house, walk around the outside of your house, and come in the back door. Okay. If you work at a building, do the same thing. Walk out one door, come in another. Or if you only have one door, walk out, take a full lap around the building, and come back in. Right? Even if it's the middle of the winter, 3 minutes of fresh air, 5 minutes of
Mm.
fresh air. I'm not telling you to go run 5 miles at lunch. If I ran,
Right.
well, run, I don't run 5 miles. If I went and walked for a half hour at lunch, I would come back and I'd be beet red and sweaty, and it would take me 45 minutes to
Yeah.
look presentable.
Yeah.
But if I just go out and take a walk around my actual building, a couple of minutes of fresh air and
Yeah.
clear your brain for a minute.
Tell you too, that sometimes those are the only times we see the outside in a day
Yes.
because
Yes.
we're working at so many hours and you realize that especially if you work from home, you'll think, "Oh my gosh, I don't know if in 48 hours I have stepped outside my house. I don't know if I've seen the outdoors."
Yeah.
And you start to question your sanity and your pulse. Am I still alive? I don't know. So little things like that. When I worked in an office in New York, I used to take my one-on-ones while walking. And I would take the pressure off of my team members and say, you don't have to be on camera. And if you want to walk while I'm walking, because if we're not together, we can still have a walking date and get
Hmm.
outside and get some movement while having a conversation. And I also found that the conversation started to flow. More information came out because we're not just sitting there staring at each other on the camera. And as I say these things, I start thinking to myself now, I'm like, come on, Ashleigh, you've done this before. You know what you're doing. Do not fall into bad traps.
And then the other thing I'd say, particularly for you in this situation, actually, like, this work isn't going to go away,
Mm.
right? If you don't fix it today, if you don't meet the person today for the first time, as long as you're communicating well, it's okay if it doesn't happen today. There's very few things that really, truly have to happen in that moment. We just
Yeah.
work them up in our brains that they have to.
Yeah.
Right. And so to think
Yeah.
about, and again, this is where it's all about communication. Because if you are communicating and saying, you know, just came on board, here are the time slots I had, right? If this really feels like it's something that's urgent, I never use emergency, but right, if this feels urgent, I have availability tomorrow. You're in a
Yeah.
field where, I mean, unless somebody has hacked into somebody's system, there's really no emergencies. People think they're emergencies.
Yeah.
People want them to escalate to emergency. But
Yeah.
and it's tough because for all of us high achievers out there and all of us folks who want to do a good job and show up and be like, look at me, like I got it all,
Yeah.
right? I always joke it's almost like we're trying to earn Girl Scout badges again from when we're kids, but these new badges are like burnout, exhaustion, I go the extra mile, I don't take vacation, right? And it's like who nobody needs a whole sash full of those badges.
No, no. And we don't want to brag about them either most of
Right.
the time. Yeah.
But it's weird because I feel like we
Yeah.
do, right? I
Such a
think
great example.
right, how often do you say things like, "Oh, Ashley, wow, she's so busy. Like she has such a big job. I can't get a time on her calendar cuz she's booked. I see her sending emails at 11:57." So, yeah, people might not aspire to that, but there's some weird sense of admiration we have
Yeah.
for it. It's
Yeah.
almost like we're just celebrating the wrong things all the time, right? That
Yeah.
we're admiring the wrong things. Like instead of saying, look, because I used to call it loudly leaving. I had a boss who loudly left, and I loved it because it gave everybody else permission to leave. Because at 5 o'clock
Okay.
every day, she would pack up her things and say, "It's 5 o'clock, and I'm going home, and you should too." Every day, four
I like
thirty.
that.
It's 4:30. I'm going home, and you should too, right? And so when she was doing that, it gave us all permission. Like not that we needed permission, but it gave us all that feeling of, hey, we should be leaving too. We shouldn't be putting in these extra hours.
Right. Because she's not asking us to.
Right. And she
Yeah.
was modeling those behaviors for us. So,
Right. And I would say currently I have an amazing opportunity to coach folks who are newer in their IT careers and have a lot of potential, very relationship focused and passionate about what they do. And they're, they have characteristics that you really can't teach in someone.
yep,
And I don't want them to see me doing something that they think is an expectation of them, or silently, oh, I should be doing this too now. So if I am working later at night, I'm scheduling the emails to go out at an appropriate hour,
excellent.
and Teams messages, scheduling them to go at an appropriate hour, because I do in this season, I realized over the last few weeks that I am the problem and I don't want anyone else to take these things on while I'm trying to find my footing. So your boss leaving loudly is such a great example of the kind of modeling that we should be doing for our employees, because whether we say it or not, it's the work environment version of raising kids. They're going to model your behavior far more than they're going to listen to your words.
Absolutely. I always love to say, right, that employees are going to follow your behavior as opposed to any wellness program that your HR team is trying to roll out. And you
Oh
know
yeah.
this, right? You've run people and culture. You could have these fantastic wellness programs. I worked for a company that on paper probably made them look like they were the most wellness aligned company ever, right? Everybody got a subscription to Calm, the app. So
Okay.
to listen to, meditations and things like that. And we all got, it was like a couple of $100 a year to do if we wanted to take yoga classes. Like it was like a wellness list of things. So you could use it for like yoga. And then there was a chunk of money for massage therapy and acupuncture. Everything was wellness oriented. And then you worked there and realized, okay, that's all great. That's all what HR and people and culture say exists, but in reality, there's no time for that.
No.
Right? Thanks for the 5
Yeah.
weeks off a year because I can never take more than 5 days or else the whole world felt like it imploded.
Right. Right. And I I think I've struggled in those environments before, running people and culture, where it was, what is the next best thing you're going to, be bringing to the team or launching as a program, and in my mind, I shouldn't say just in my mind. I'm a very vocal person. I will share happening in my mind out loud. Let's
Really,
be
Ash?
real.
I can't even imagine that. You being vocal and really
I'm
speaking
so
your mind to
introverted.
people. So introverted. So introverted.
People are like, no, no, shut up more, please. um, but I would say, why is this what we're focusing on? The people are telling us what they need. They want more managerial support and they would like additional training because things keep changing. And when change happens, they want to understand the why and the how they are supposed to proceed. And so us bringing in, a spa day for people to get their feet massaged in between meetings is not helping them with any of those things.
Nope.
So, why is this what we're focusing on when the people are out loud telling us what they need and we're not delivering it?
It's so
So,
tough. And I think, the other thing I started to hit on and then I got distracted and, went off in one of the other directions. I think it's also the communication piece
mm,
because if, there's somebody I'm coaching right now and she got a project in her inbox last week on Thursday, 15 minutes before she was leaving. Right. And had like wrapped everything up for the day, right? Got this project in and it said due date was the next day. And so she was like, "Ugh, okay, like, should I stay for a bit? Should I start to work on it?" Like, she was kind of debating back and forth. Shot a note to the person who sent it to her and said, "What time is it due tomorrow? Like, what time do you need this by?" And the person responded and said, "Oh, yeah, the due date says tomorrow, but really, next for a week from tomorrow is fine." And she was like, what was the
so
point
what
of
are
the
we
due
putting
date?
this on there? Yeah.
Right. And it was so interesting because she was really struggling with that communication.
Yeah.
Right. Like, why would you bother setting a goal and then pushing it out? And it sounds like that this organization, that's just kind of how they function. They're
Okay.
constantly moving target dates and like dates aren't really real. And, they put these dates out there, but nobody ever pays attention to them. And it's so frustrating, right? It's why they're looking for a new job. Um,
Yeah.
right?
Good for
Because
her for asking, by the way. So many people would be nervous to even ask. So good for her for asking for clarification.
well, and part of it was what we were working on because when we first started coaching together, her hope was to salvage this job. She's
Okay.
worked there for 5 years. She likes the people she works with, but she's getting frustrated about little things. And this was one of those things that dates and goals and deadlines were just so like, oh, it's okay. We just keep moving them. It's no big deal. And in the strengths world, she has consistency, discipline, and focus as her top three.
Okay.
So having this piece where it's moving quickly does not work well.
Yeah. So
So,
I think the moral of the story here is that we all go through these seasons of additional, more than what we're used to in our day to day, more than our routines. Something is changing. We have to build a new routine. We have to reacclimate ourselves or reintegrate. And during those seasons, to remember our foundation and what has gotten us this far is the mantra around, great leaders eat lunch. All leaders should eat lunch. We should be taking care of ourselves, even if it's 10 minutes, a 3-minute song, hiding in the bathroom with your song, if it's turning around away from your computer, stepping outside. But remembering that when we're not taking care of ourselves, we can't be pouring into anything else in our life. So,
no. No, right? There's no way you're going to be good supporting others if you are burnt out, or again, you have no fuel in your body.
yeah,
We all see those kids who on vacation have complete meltdowns, every three steps they take because they're tired and they're hungry. And,
yep,
think about you as a human when you've made decisions or you've reacted in a way that you're not proud of, or reacted in a way that you wish you could take back. I guarantee it's days that you did not have enough food and had not slept well, right?
yep,
Sleep deprivation, that's why it's torture, right? Because
yep,
we just don't react well.
right. It's torture for all of us around
It
us
is.
too.
It is. It is. It is. It is. All right. So, um, we got to wrap this up because we both have to get back to the hundreds of things we have on our plates right now and trying to keep ourselves afloat. So, Ash, what's the one thing you're going to change next week? What's one thing you're doing next week now that we've talked about this that's going to make the week feel better?
Well, I'm going to be taking a minimum of 10 minutes for myself midday, drinking more water, and remembering that I'm a human being and not a machine.
Excellent. And I would say put those 10 minutes on your calendar now.
Yep.
Even if you block a half hour and then you only get 10 minutes, great. But, block some time for yourself. And
Yeah.
my other advice is always don't call it lunch because as soon as you call it lunch, somebody takes it. So,
Yes.
set
True.
5 meetings next week with me. No, but we're not going to tell
Amazing.
anybody that you're meeting with me 5 times. No one needs to know.
I
But
love it.
Well, thanks for chatting, Ash. I'm so excited for you and your new role. I know you're going to kill it, and
Thank you.
we will keep going. And I hope you all get to squiggle into something that you love to do this week and that you stop and take lunch.